his knife, see rustic labour dicht, and cut you up with ready slicht, trouncing your gushing entrails brecht. Like
this address to a haggis will be repeated around the world this weekend to celebrate the birth of Robert Burns.
A fricassee would make her spew with perfect scunner.
At this Burns supper in the Bard's hometown, those inspired by the role he played in history are now turning their minds to the future. In just 8 months, Scots will decide on whether or not to leave the UK, and the nationalists have been keen to frame the debate around Scottish identity. So what role will patriotism play in September's vote?
The whole business of Scottish identity is hugely important, and people will vote partly out of the sense of being Scottish.
I think you can be patriotic, but not necessarily against the Union.
Behind in the polls, it's the Yes campaign which needs a boost. However, its leader believes sticking to a positive message can turn things around.
We're having the referendum because Scotland's a nation, and as a nation we've got the right to decide our own future.
But people are telling you
indeed,
it's the economy that they're most interested in. It's the economic argument they want to hear from you.
Which is why we put the economic argument front and centre of our campaign. And this nation, incidentally, which has contributed infinitely to the rest of this planet, is well capable of running its own affairs.
Those campaigning against independence describe it as an unnecessary risk.
How much you can earn, your job prospects, what you can do in a country, and the health and transport, it all depends on the same thing. Do you have a successful economy? And the arguments to me are overwhelming. All over the world, people are breaking down barriers. They're not putting them up. What could be more negative than shoving a barrier up where none's existed for 300 years?
For English gold has been our bane.
Alex Salmond likes using Burns' verse to goad his opponents and strike a sentimental chord with the Scottish electorate. But if he's to secure independence, it's going to take more than a swell of national pride felt on nights like this. Both sides do agree there's still a long way to go before we come to that decision of head and heart. Debbie Edward, ITV News, Alloway in Ayrshire.